Okay, today we are working on a Mitsubishi Triton MN and we are putting on an alpha pack bar, which is the hoop bar. So things you'll get in the kit is obviously the bar itself, fog lights, grills, park light and indicator, which are just here. All of this need to be assembled. That is one of our new 22-inch light bars that should be purchased separately, obviously. And then you have all your bracketry here. So I've laid these out as they would go on the vehicle. So that's left side, your right side, and your winch tray. These brackets have been cut out for the crash support that's already on the vehicle. So they just slide over the ends, get bolted in through here, and these two here as well, on both sides. There will be a modification that we need to do to this one, as they are technically made for a manual vehicle, but because this is automatic and it has auto trans lines running through the front, we just need to cut off a small section just up in here and give it a paint. This is a washer bottle, because we need to relocate the one that's on the vehicle. This is the front grille. This holds your fair lead brackets and everything like that, plus your number plate. This is the number plate flip up bracket for winches, and then this is the bolt kit. There's not many bolts to it, but it gets the job done. There's also small Allen key bolts in there as well, there for the front grille. So the way you want to get started, obviously this has got a few accessories on the front, like a nudge bar, lights, and aftermarket flares. So if you do have this similar setup and you've got these flares, you can, mark it out, take it off, cut it separately to the vehicle, try and pop it back on. Me, I'm just going to have a tape line going across, as I know where it needs to be. I'm going to cut it on the car. Saves me time, and I know I can do it neatly. Nudge bar, same thing, that just has a few bolts that needs to come off. After all that's off, and it's dipped back down to sort of a standard vehicle. What you want to do is take out these clips. This one's missing a few, but these clips up here, there's 4 up the top here, and that grill will just pop out. On the inside, obviously there's a flare covering it all up, but there's a couple of clips here, a 10mm holding the bumper on itself, a couple of 10mm and some clips down below as well. You will need to remove the factory bash tray. Not too sure if this one's still got it. It does. Obviously it's all dented. That will need to be removed as well. Once you get all that off, obviously then we can start working on the bracketry and the wiring. So wiring's pretty simple. I'm not going to actually show you too much of the wiring, as that should be done by a professional, but on the back of the headlight you're going to have power and ground going to the indicator and power and ground going to the park light. You just want to tap into those, extend the wires down, and then solder them in to the park light indicators provided in the kit. I'll give you a little instructional on the wire color. You have red, which is park light, you have brown, which is indicator, and black, which is ground. Pretty simple. I usually have to extend these about 150mm. So I'm going to get started now, start ripping all of this off. Come back to the video once it's completely off and ready to get onto the bracketry. Alrighty, so we've removed the bumper and we're ready to now remove a few more things before we get on to doing the bracketry for the bull bar. So what you want to do is you want to remove this piece here. This is basically just to hold the bumper up and support it. There is a 12mm here and a 12mm up in there, and that's the same on both sides. You want to keep this nut here because you want to put this bracket back exactly where it was after this has been taken off. Now, there's nothing in the middle. Sorry, I thought that was another one. And then you need to remove these brackets here. So on this side, it's quite simple and easy. There are two 10 mils, one there and one there. And this bracket will be removed. That's the same with these bumper brackets here. There's a 10 mil in there and a 10 mil back in there as well. That once those two have been removed, get a little flat head underneath it and pop it backwards and you'll be right as rain. This side, which is the passenger side, is a bit more problematic as you have the washer bottle. So what I suggest on doing is taking the clip out of here. Obviously it's been broken before, so there's a cable tie, so we're going to cut that and then remove the spout, as that is a separate piece to the bottle. Once you've done that, you've got a 12 mil here. You have a 12 mil up in here as well, and there should be one all the way back there. Once you've removed all three of them, you then want to just move the washer bottle out and then unclip the lines. So this is the water line itself, and then you've got your power to the motor. So you just want to sort of unclip all of that. Now if the washer bottle's full of water, you want to be careful when removing this hose, as it will just come straight out. So once you remove this hose, just put your finger over it, take it outside and remove the pump. Pump's pretty easy to remove. All you need to do is just grab it from the top and pry down. It's just a hole with a grommet. Once that's been removed, you can pop all of that aside for later on in the video. But yeah, so I'm going to do all that now and then we'll get onto the bracketry itself. Alright, so we removed those brackets on the side along with the bumper stay bracket and the washer bottle. We're going to leave these hanging for right now as we don't need them. We've also done the wiring. So like I said, extended about 150 mil from the headlight, and they'll just sit here for a while. Now we can move on to the bracket itself. Now the driver's side bracket is the only one that needs to be modified if you have a automatic vehicle, because they have these auto trans lines here which get in the way. So that's the auto trans cooler there. On your standard manual vehicles, the only thing that you need to trim is this bottom section here of the intercooler bracket. So you're still retaining majority of this bracket, you're just cutting out this triangle piece here. Pretty straightforward. Now for the bracket, what you're going to need to do is cut out this section here. Now the bracket is reinforced very well, so you don't need to worry about any sort of structural integrity loss, as it is, yeah, it's a double walled bracket. So you just need to cut out this little section here. It's up to you on how much you want to cut out, whether you want to radius it or anything like that. Myself, I just take out a good chunk, so there's no possible way that this can rub on that and wear through these lines, because if they wear through, the gearbox is going to overheat and you're not going to have a good time. So take out more than what you need, just to be safe. Now like I said, the bracket itself, that bolt hole there goes into here, and then you've got this bolt back here as well, which will bolt up. This lower bracket, or this little lower bolt hole here, is for the skid plate. That's where that gets bolted to. So yeah, I'm going to cut these out now and cut this out. I'm going to bolt them up and show you what it looks like all done. Alright, so we are now cut this out for the auto trans lines. So when that goes on, it clearances it all. Now for the side bolts here, these are a fine thread, which they come in the kit. They're quite easy to tell which one's which. Now there'll be two fine threads on this side, there'll be one fine thread and a bigger bolt on the other side. So this is a M10 bolt. This is a coarse thread. That'll go through here, as it is not, well, you have to drill this out a little bit, sorry, but because this does not have a thread in it, you're going to use this along with the washers and nut provided. As for the bar itself, once all these brackets get put on, these are all M10 coarse thread, and they have all the washers and spring washers and nuts provided. Now you're going to need obviously 12 washers, because there's 2 per bolt and 1 spring washer per bolt. We're going to chuck it on the car now, and we'll show you what it looks like once it's all done. Okay, so on the left side of the vehicle, you're going to have a hole here which has not got any thread in it. This is the side that you're going to be drilling out. Now you only want to drill it out one size over because of the size of the bolt. So right now I'm just using a step bit here, and you're going to be drilling it out to a 12 mil. That's it. Just one step over, and that's now going to be big enough for our M10 to slip straight in with minimal wiggle. Okay, so when you're putting the side brackets on, you want to do them up loosely, because you then want to bolt the center winch plate on. So these are bolted down all the way. You're probably going to have misalignment issues. So put these on lightly, and then slap this on top as a little shelf here. Then you're going to be using the M10 bolts that come in the kit with spring washers, and the nuts underneath. So now that that's all loose, we can tighten both sides down, and then we can tighten the 4 winch bolts, and that'll be nice and sturdy. Okay, so that's what it looks like all done and dusted. Now we're going to slide the bar on and tighten it all down. So we'll come back once that's all on, and I'll show you the end product. Okay, so we've gotten the bar on. The gap is actually contouring with the fender. It's just the cut snake flares that they've got on there that makes it look a bit odd, but that's it all done and dusted. Now what we need to do is put in the center grille and the bash plates underneath. It's pretty self-explanatory. Hardware comes in the bash plate kit, so they're just M6s, and there's a few underneath, along with the bash plate as well. It will mount up to the factory points under here, and then mount up to the front. So pretty straightforward. But yeah, the bar is mounted with those M10s that you see just there, and then one underneath as well. So that's all very well secure. So I'm going to get that grill in and bash plates on now,